Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you guys so much for waiting on me, being patient with me. Let's get into this video. You're not here for any introductions. My name is Nihanda Ihinyo Helmker, and I will be your host tonight, talking about a very important topic that I don't cover enough, and that is Black female insecurities. And it seems to me that we either go from one end of the pendulum to the other. Some of us are overconfident with no reason to be, or very little reason to be. And some of us are extremely insecure and tell ourselves some lies about beauty standards and the like. And if you guys have not checked out my video on beauty standards and the traumas that women have had to heal from across the board, not just in the Black African communities in the West, but across the board, then please go ahead and check that out, because this is a very complex topic. But a lot of the times there is more to be said on the part of what women perceive is happening in terms of their level of attraction to the opposite sex, as opposed to what is actually happening with their perception of, with their perceived attractiveness towards the opposite sex. So let's get into this video. We're going to start first with the comment section. This is another episode of Hannah in the comment section, so I'm going to read some of the latest comments that have come up. Abraham McDay said, wow, very good content and well-articulated points. Shout out to him. Thank you so much for that. Matix. The Siren will be in Kingston, Philly streets. I think I read this one before. Let's see if I can look at some others. Published. Okay, so we have here, shocker, nobody checking Black women these days, so for real. I mean, the discipline and discipline overall is important. Now, this is my video that I did on the porn addiction and porn viewing segment. I can talk a little bit more about this. In fact, I think I might do that. If you guys want to hear more on this topic, can you please just leave a like or a comment in the description box down below of this video. G3X said, great video. It added context to how I feel and felt. I think I want to, I want to find one of my, I want to find one of the videos that are, this thing just doesn't work. Guys, this is why I'm doing this, because this thing just has a mind of its own in the way that it's, this one here is one of the comments that I wanted to feature in today's comment section. I'm interested in how you build up the subject when it comes to fatherlessness and fathers need to fight more for their children. I'm extremely biased and need more perspective on this issue. Now, there are two replies. Getting tested is a vital. This is for this. Okay, let me look at this one. Genau. Read more. So this one was a very interesting one because of two things. I'm going to read it and then I am going to discuss this comment before we get started into our new topic. Women terminate relationships on the drop of a hat. The amount of hoops some men have to jump through to maintain a relationship is just outrageous in many cases. They're talking about relationships with their children. Obviously, men need to select better, but current divorce rates show men are pretty much viewed as disposable. Also, in America, our welfare system incentivizes women to be single parents. I've heard this when the video came out from a series that was called The Vanishing Black Family, I'm going to leave that in the description if I can find it again. It's up on YouTube. You guys are more than willing to listen to this and read it. Hear it and view the stories of the people being featured in this, because this was just at the cusp of beginning of the welfare nation. It isn't enough to bankroll a woman, but once she receives food stamps and Section 8, this is the most important part, it can equal thousands a month. People tend to try to counter this talking point by mentioning the average amount of money a welfare recipient receives, but doesn't look at how much the average single mother and average single Black mother receives, including child support. If a Black man is too involved or is caught living with his woman, sorry, I had to scroll and now I don't know where I am. People tend to try to counter this. Yeah, okay, so by receiving his woman, or being too involved, is caught living with his woman, she can lose Section 8 housing allowance. If he's too involved with raising this child, he can request child support to be lowered. But so many layers, I can't go down. Overall, things are stacked against men, but we must find a way to navigate this system. My critiques should not be taken as me quitting. Plenty of amazing mothers are available, and some are actively reforming and will be available in time. So this is a very big topic in terms of female independence and single parent households. One of the things I want to say is that this comment is shockingly not specific to America, not specific to Black men. Unfortunately, we have mega problems in Germany right now because of this phenomenon as well. And while there seems to be a growing discord, I don't know what the statistics are specifically, but there seems to be a growing discord between the poor, poor people who have this mentality of like state living, and other people who just want to get out of a bad situation and get in a better situation. Now, it is very, very complicated and very complex, but I would want to offer up to this comment that there is too much at stake. Like I said in the video, there is too much at stake to leave the raising of the future generation of children up to the state. Now, there are many reasons as to why this is the current situation, and this person in the comment section actually alluded to a lot of what is currently happening. And I agree with this, because although there are no statistics here to back up what he's saying, there is a lot of truth in what he's saying, and there are statistics. If you guys want to take a look at what those statistics are, you are free to do so. And this is the fundamental issue as to why there is a lot of Black on Black crime and Black on Black poverty. It is also quite alarming because people of a particular socioeconomic status think this way. And, they want to live off of the state, or they don't really have a bigger picture as to what is at stake when they choose state assistance over family life. And it is only or mainly poor and middle income families or poor and middle income women that think like this. And now we're 2 generations in. So we're seeing women who have come up in the projects, in this social system, doing the same thing that their mothers did. And why this happened? Well, actually, it quite happened kind of sort of by accident, right? It was a situation that was created for women who were single mothers who wanted to go back to work because we needed more people in the workforce. And so women needed to be given greater consideration when going back to work, because women are the primary caregivers of their children. And so if women work, then there needed to have been accommodations made for single parents or for mothers specifically to have a place where the children go as a last resort. Okay. Let me say that again clearly. That was a last resort. This is what daycare came out of. So that women can then make enough money because their husbands probably were not working, or they didn't have a husband who was providing for the family, period. And so out of this, it was supposed to be designed for that. Now everybody wants health daycare because every woman wants to have a career. If you're living in the projects and on government and you're on government assistance, that really doesn't say to me that you are trying to have a career. So I don't live in America. I have not lived in America for decades. So I don't have a hands-on tangible view as to the extent of how big this issue is. But the numbers across the board, not just in the Black communities, but across the board, are staggering when it comes to what this has done to children. And we need to start to have a real serious conversation about what's at stake when and if we choose to have a family, but even bigger than that, the kind of communities we are creating with fatherless children. Because now I'm going to do a reaction video, maybe, it's going to come in this week, about the uncomfortable truths about having a father. We're going to talk about that in itself. But I just wanted to reinstate how low class this is for us, or any woman. I mean, it's not just Black women, but any woman to think or not try to, I know that there's some situations and circumstances where you absolutely are better off without the father. Absolutely. I said that in my past video. But for the most part, like this person is saying, women are leaving their relationships at a drop of a hat. Why? That can be its own video itself. I recently saw something about decentering men, where women are starting to not make relationships a priority. Can't relate, sorry. But I'm not also obsessed about, like I have to have a relationship. Some people might disagree. But that is something to me that I feel is a retardation of society in terms of what, like, I don't really think that women have actually thought this through. Just like the government set it up in a way that women can have assistance, and the one or two single moms in a community can have assistance, and the government could afford to provide said assistance because there were only a few. And now what was not anticipated was that all women would just give up their relationships just to be able to have a secure, safe, predictable, regular check that they can depend on, that was just kind of provided for them, arguably because they were not raised in places and spaces where female ambitions, were centered around a real solid family structure. And I'm not here to give a history lesson. We can discuss that in deeper detail later on. But I just wanted to acknowledge this comment because it was spot on in terms of what men are up against when they go against the system to try to make sure that they're involved with their children. Right. So moving on to another. I have had two women over the past 2 years actually try to shame me for only wanting kids within the context of marriage. This is a man speaking. Really almost can't make this up. None of these women, by the way, had any kids. Well, I'm not surprised there, because a woman who doesn't have children doesn't really understand what it means for a man to have legacy, right? I didn't understand the importance of having a child until I was pregnant, and I was forced into a situation of maturity, for responsibility and growth, like personal, spiritual, emotional growth. And I was pleasantly surprised that I actually I became a different person. It wasn't easy, of course. It was very hard because me and her father he was no longer going to be in the picture like I had anticipated. But I was extremely blessed. I felt extremely blessed, and I felt extremely mature and happy to be able to be a part of something so beautiful that a lot of people actually don't get to participate in. Before that, I had never even given marriage or motherhood a second thought. But luckily, I had someone in my life who was guiding me, my mother and my grandmother, who had made it very clear to me that when you go on a motherhood journey, a lot of things about the way you think about life are going to change and shift. And some of those things are going to be hard for you to accept and understand because it is a level of maturity that women go through that men cannot necessarily relate to in the same way. Men think of children as legacy, while women think of children as an opportunity to really have a powerful female experience. And that female experience lasts with you for the rest of your life. And it is also legacy, but it is a time and a moment in life where you are constantly nurturing and formulating and molding another human's being perception of love, nurturing, confidence, and care. And if you have not experienced those things yourself, you will be directly faced head on with that. And I think a lot of women are really afraid of that, especially if they're under 25. Because we're encouraged these days to be, independent and self-seeking. And self-seeking sounds like such a dirty word. What I want to say is self-realizing, right? And there is no space for children in a space of self-realization because that takes a lot of time. And when you're a mom, you have got to give your 100% all of the time, even on the days when you don't want to, just for the well-being of your child. And results may vary. Faris, please speak to your pharmacist or doctor. Okay, so we're gonna move on to my next video, because this is what we're gonna be talking about tonight. So we talk about female confidence and things like that. And I had a video up. I talked about it earlier in this video. And this girl, I'm not on usually a lot because they can trigger the heck out of me. But this especially triggered me because it is directly related to some of the things that I see with women, with Black women. And it irks me so much because I think that it's very sad when people don't know where they rank and they don't realize their potential because of insecurities that they've carried with them that does not really serve them, especially in the dating market. So let's take a look. I'm going to play this video, this part specifically, because in this video, okay, so let me give you guys some context. This is a video of ranking women, right? 5 men rank 5 women on their level of attractiveness. And so the first part that is going to come up is how they rank physically. Let's take a look, shall we? I'm
not mad at this.
Where do you think you might wind up in line?
Probably on the lower half. Not because I don't think I'm beautiful. I just think that there is a specific standard of beauty right now, and I don't necessarily fit I don't check off all of the boxes for most races.
Movement has to move down a little bit. I think moves down to 3.
Yeah, 3. All right, we can do that.
I'm good with this lineup.
Okay, so now you see this lineup here. This is the first section of the video, which is specifically on level of attractiveness. They haven't asked these women any questions about what they do for a living or, how they spend their time or where they are, other things that are also important in a person's attractiveness. This is based solely on physical attractiveness. You heard what she said. She said, I don't think that I am the beauty standard for most men across all races, including her own. Now, if you see here, this guy here is mixed. I didn't play the part where he was, I don't know, should I play the part where he was asked what's his type? He's like, well, yeah, I'm mixed. My mom's Black. So my type, my people. So he had ranked her. And then this guy, I think he's from the Caribbean or something. He also ranked her. The rest of them, also non-Black men ranked her as number one in terms of attractiveness. Now, I don't need to point out what about her is attractive or what about her is stunning, because you should be able to determine for yourself why they put her first. And so when women lead, let me rephrase that. When Black women lead with, I'm not attractive because I'm Black, this is the level of delusion that works against us, because some of us are unattractive because of our attitudes, because of our weight, because of our rest and bitch face, but not because of anything that is physically unappealing. A lot of us meet that standard, and that standard that we think and take with us is, oh, he probably only date white girls, or he probably only date Mexican girls, is crap that we have gotten from some mister in some waiting to exhale scenario that is non-existent, and have taken it and made it our narrative. Baby, ask the men. Pick up on the cues, because honestly, some of us don't look like her. Like, let's be real. Like, some of us are pretty average. We're average at best. Some of us are just going to be there with our average looking selves, just getting average looking results. But I can't even like explain to you how surprised she was. Later on, she falls back in the middle because of some other questions that they asked, but just based on the sole level of her appearance, and I'm going to link this video in the description box so you guys can check it out yourselves. But this is one of the main issues with attractive Black women that has to stop, because it is hurting us in some of the most worst ways. Look, I don't want to be so bold and brave and say everybody loves chocolate. I'm not going to say that, even though I just said that, but I'm going to say that I have been very pleasantly surprised at the kinds of men that are attracted to an attractive Black woman. I'm not going to say I was that attractive Black woman. I'm not going to say that, all right? But I'm saying that beauty and it being skin deep is something that we got from somewhere that is not real. And you guys, and I love it because she's a dark skinned, tall, athletic looking girl, right? She's not me. Like, I'm average height, got a average butt for both ends. Like, my butt is not anything spectacular. Average chest, I'm as average as they come in terms of proportion. Like, I'm not heavy, I'm not light, I'm a small 120-pound, regular size person. There's nothing extremely exotic about, like, I'm pretty average. I could be one of these other girls, like this one here in this little dress thing. I'm probably not that short. But I don't have a very particularly spectacular body feature that would lend itself to be like, wow, she got these long legs. All of my extra features are in my face, and I know that, and I use that. But this young lady is an exceptionally beautiful young lady and doesn't think that she is. And there are so many of us in the Black community who are very attractive, who settle for less, who shouldn't be settling for less, while the rest of us who should be settling for less go out there and think that they go get tape digs or something. Like, who's hot on the market? Y'all tell me. Michael JB. No, Michael B. Jordan, no, no, sit down, please sit down somewhere. And so I'm very, very surprised by this, because I'm surprised by her words, because her words technically show how we are very much into a type of negative self-talk that is extremely detrimental to the results that we get in our life. I'm going to try to move on. Let's see what happens, because I really like this video.
Can't eat that pickles. Pickles?
Seafood
It's all seafood. Okay.
Even like sushi.
Yeah.
No, I thought they're gonna ask more like deeper questions just to get to know me as a person.
It was just like dry, like.
Do you feel like you guys asked enough questions to
Oh.
get to know the women?
God, no. None at all. I think our questions are terrible. Yeah.
This guy here, she said, only dates white women. And I know he sounds really vanilla, but he was like, yeah, I'm here for that one right there. That's the one. She's the one. When we started to talk a little bit more about her personality phenotype, it changes. And I think that I'm going to list this in the video in this video in my YouTube channel so that you guys can take a look for it for yourself to see what it is that is exactly hampering our progress in the dating market, because it is not our looks. It is actually our attitudes and our ways of being and our ways of projecting certain ugliness that come from within, that is not necessarily a physical attribute, but as a direct result of attitudes that hurt us as opposed to help us. So guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you for keeping all the comments coming. Of course, try to make sure that you stay safe and stay free.